This is Abe Freetanzer from Awards Radar, and I'm thrilled to be speaking with Rick Glassman and Joe Mantegna about their roles on the new show As We See It. How are you both doing today?
Good.
Great.
You got that out there very quickly, very confidently, and very concisely. I've been trying to do that.
Thank you. Thank you. So I really love this show, and I'm curious, Rick, how did you first find out about this role and what appealed to you about it?
I saw an announcement on Deadline that Jason Katims, who I was already a fan of through Parenthood and Friday Night Lights, is doing a new show about autism, which I happen to have been diagnosed with 4 years ago. So I felt like this is my moment. And then that's how I found out about the show. And then, when I'm asked like what's so exciting about it, I mean, it's just like you try so hard to get jobs, and I was excited to call my parents and be like, I don't need to move home for at least another 5 years now.
That's great. And how much of yourself do you see in Jack?
When I was a kid, I had some obstacles that were very similar to what Jack does. So at the moment, it felt like, I mean, not when I say kid, I don't mean like Jack is a child by any means, but some of the obstacles and the tics and the forms of communication that I lacked and awareness that I lacked as a kid, it was just kind of like going back into that, which was surprisingly easy and felt really good that this thing as a kid that was like, all right, come on, Rick, figure it out, I now get to use as a tool for this. Jack is ashamed of his autism. When I found out about my diagnosis, it made me happy, excited, and proud that these unrelated obstacles became a pattern in my life, and it helped me better understand myself and how to communicate with people. So with the exact opposite there with the shame, but just, missing social cues and not really understanding that people are seeing things differently than you is spot on.
That makes a lot of sense. And I do appreciate Jack's directness. I think it's very entertaining and sometimes comes out a little bit wrong, but he has a really good heart. And I especially like the relationship that Lou has with him. And I'm curious from you, Joe, what did you bring to approach that relationship? And how do you think that Lou sees his son and wants to support him?
I'll take it from here.
Yeah,
it's
go
funny
ahead.
that you bring. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, first of all, I have a 34-year-old daughter with autism, so that's been part of my life and world and my family's world for a long time now. And I mean, you talk about that one instance. I can think of an instance right off the top of my bat where we were in Chicago and we're staying at a hotel, and these three maids came in to clean the room, and one of them, all female, and one of them had a mustache. And my daughter was about 8 years old at the time, and my wife and I both saw it at the same time. My daughter Mia looked at her and made a beeline for her. And first thing she looked at her and says, "You got to shave that," And it was like, and it was that perfect instance of her saying, what's on her mind and just telling it like it is. And it was one of those early kind of occasions where we're able to understand, okay, this is something we're going to have to understand. There's maybe not going to be a lot of filtering going on in her life. And so now to take it back to the show, I mean, so that's what I mean. So much of the show, these 8 episodes that we did, so many aspects of it are extensions of things I've experienced in my life, yet similar, but yet also very different, funny, yet sad, touching, but hilarious. So it's all of that. So I think I don't know if it's an advantage, the fact that I'm familiar with that world or not, but it's certainly relatable. And if nothing else, it makes me appreciate how well done it is and how well written it is. And that Jason has been able to capture, what that world is like.
Yeah, it seems that authenticity and representation are really at the forefront of this show, which is really nice. And do you think that we've seen anything like this show in the past on TV or in film?
No, I don't. And it's, the idea of casting neurodiverse actors to play neurodiverse actors is cool. And it offers an authenticity that, is easier to prove because we're tapping into real things. but also the crew there were people on the autism spectrum. The actors, the writers, if they weren't, they were directly involved in it. And Joe's daughter has autism, and everyone knows so much about it. And that familiarity and comfort and understanding of autism really helped us not focus on autism, because this is life, this is a show, and though the show revolves around autistic characters, it's really not about autism. It's situations that are very relatable, that everybody goes through. These characters just happen to also have this thing, and because it's so familiar with everybody, it made a show that has autism subject matter be really background but also authentic at the same time. And that was something I didn't realize would be a thing until a few episodes in, when I'm realizing how much of people speak the same language, that even on a neurotypical show, everybody's from someplace different. There's not that much stuff holding them together. So on a very macro scale, this show felt, and I believe represents something that is, I haven't seen before. And I'm fantastic in it. And I'm really excited for people to see this.
I agree, absolutely. And all 8 episodes premiere on Amazon Prime Video on Friday, January 21st. Thank you so much, Rick and Joe, for speaking with me today, and best of luck with this show.
Thank you.
Thanks.